Gentlemen, my name's Sebastian, you're watching Engine Nerded, and today we're putting on coilovers for the Clownshoe finally, because I've been waiting about 2 years for this day to come, and I keep getting delayed by everyone I ordered from. We have TC Klein dual adjustable rears, and TC Klein single adjustable fronts, because the fronts have been back ordered since April, and he was nice enough to send me single adjustables for the time being until those come in stock. I assembled all these. I'm just using the TC Klein rear inverted mount thingies for the rear shocks. And then I've got some ground control Z3 M specific camber plates. Now let's go tear into the car. Ah, yes. Sway ball. Wow, this thing looks like it has 250,000 miles on it. Get a motherfucking jack and do. Beep, beep, bop. Oh. Oh, there she goes.
Got it. Oh, it's a good thing those wires are there to catch the fall.
Yeah.
Putting the screws on my chair.
Your chair? That's vintage. In my neighborhood?
Hey!
There's Mac.
Slow down!
Now I don't remember which direction. Oh, they tell you, passenger forward. All right.
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, the sway bar end link should not go on the left. It should go on the right.
Seb.
What?
This is driver front.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the sway bar end link mounting face. See how this
matches
and this
up directly with that?
Yeah. I'm stupid. Like, yeah, sir, what are you talking about?
It wasn't me, it was CJ.
Get out of my house!
You're pointing out that he was wrong. That this is the driver's side.
Look, I had a seizure.
Like from the driver perspective, and I'm like, yeah, that's.
You have to rotate that now somehow.
I'm gonna rotate it, it'll be fine.
Is going well.
The lift kit is going great, bud. I don't know if these studs are long enough. Yeah, it's confusing.
It's just a little bit of rust.
Driver's front that way. But why? They say Klein.
BMW.
Well, you have barely.
Yeah, but then you like barely. How am I gonna maximize my cambo? I'll deal with that another day. Let's just get this on there. Get in there. Coney, I don't like you.
Dude, calm down.
Coney,
This is why he's never gonna get any sponsorship deals. He just shit talks all over the parts.
Yeah, well, when you gotta pay for it and wait 2 years, what do you mean? I'm gonna say what's on my mind.
Shows once it's in, it's not going anywhere. Fuck your brand.
Because plan B is to take it back out and try to spread it.
That's what I was saying, kind of.
I really don't want to take it back out, though.
Why not?
I'm sweaty and dizzy. I need to sit down. The backs of my knees are wet.
The backs of. Oh, yeah, I get that problem.
Wet back knees?
Yeah. Wet back knees. Hey, listen, how much progress
doesn't
have
want to
we
go
made? I can't
The
see.
answer is no.
None.
That kind of bends a little easy. That's a little scary. Okay, hold on. That might be screwdrivable. Oh, I'm getting there.
Here.
It's close. I don't.
Okay, look at
Put it in
that.
vertical.
Look at that. She's in
Oh,
there
yeah.
now.
All right, let's see if this goes
Get
through.
that bolt through.
This guy. Brothers, the fronts are done. Passenger side was equally as annoying.
Forget the sisters.
That's right.
And the they them.
Like 3 people watch these anyway. I still got to set the ride height, but everything's buttoned down. There's a little bit of free play, but they say to put the perches all the way at the bottom. Mike showed up in his Datsun. This thing's LS swapped with like custom front and rear subframes. He just threw these flares on in the back, but we got to cut the quarter panels up. So he's going to be doing that while I'm doing the rear suspension. I got this done. He just got done making these patch panels so he has access to the fuel tank, fuel pump, and all that fun stuff. So you're going to have to drop the tank to get to it.
Yeah. I kind of want to, if I keep
No interior right now, fresh wiring, still in the works. But it's pretty sweet. And then it's got an LS1 in it with the T56. We rebuilt this.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we were doing, but we torqued it to spec and it hasn't blown up yet.
Not yet.
Yet being the key word.
So I want to document how you take the interior part because there's like no information besides a couple write-ups. There's a Phillips head screw on the catch for the little, this guy, little sunshade. So you pop that guy out. Don't lose that. This just slides right out, no problem. This bottom trim piece, I think it just has like pop clips. So you just kind of wiggle that out gently. Don't break it because everything's no longer available. And then I think it's a better idea to pull this gasket off. Yeah, the bottom has one more screw right here on the bottom corner. Undo that, John. And now the bottom's loose, but take a plastic pry tool and pop those clips off. Before I get to this, I got to take the actual little sunshade guy out. And this has, these are just clips. And then there's two 10mm screws on each side. So wiggle it out of there. I'm assuming these Phillips come out. This is the furthest I've ever been with this. I've never taken it apart further.
Boing.
Okay. Oh, that's not supposed to. Okay. Oh, all right. That's not supposed to be that loose. But we'll take the sub paneling off. It's got some pop clips. That's supposed to have. Oh, these just weren't clipped in. This sucks. Okay. All right. Cool. I paid like $350 for this one because my original one was cracked, so that's cool. For the seatbelt buckle, you just pull this guy up and off. There's a 17mm bolt. You pop that off. I'm gonna try to. There we go. This is the best way to spend a Saturday. And the nut on the seatbelt is built in, so you don't need to worry about it falling off. All right, so these you just pull off, and there should be clips, but mine are broken, and then you lift it up. So that sucks. Yeah, so you got these clips that someone, I don't even know what the hell they did here.
Yo!
The front here.
Where are we going?
Mr. Cameraman. There's a Phillips. Take that John out. I think I just lift up. Oh, please don't break. Oh my God, that's terrifying. Oh, there's another Phillips here on this shelf. Wait, do I have to take this whole shelf? Oh no.
Alright, so what are you doing now?
I'm taking everything apart. So we gotta take all these Phillips screws off.
Yeah, what? Dude, you're just changing suspension. You gotta take the whole car apart.
I think there's a cheat code to where you just pull the carpet out from under this panel. I'm just unschooling my Clownshoe. There's so many. Why did they not make this easier? This is awful. My back hurts. We're only 36 more to go.
Yeah, it looks comfortable.
Oh. Lumbago.
Lumbago. So this is my 2008 C6 Corvette with an LS3 TR6060 transmission. It's the Z51 package with a suspension upgrade and brand new brakes. What is that, a VCR? An Xbox 360 in the back of that thing?
It's actually a PlayStation 1. Get out of here. Pop clip, how you doing?
Clip popped.
These? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
There's like 345 screws. Sorry, there's more Phillips.
There's always
As
more
if you didn't
Phillips.
have enough.
I don't know when it's gonna do.
I know.
Should have done this one. What's the 0 to 60 on that bad dude?
Probably about 5. Oh, don't worry, there's a clip.
Like 5 seconds.
Gotta make sure it doesn't rattle, even though it rattles.
What happened to your trunk liner?
Don't worry about it.
What is this?
Don't ask questions.
That's sound deadening from 1999.
Yeah, it's been deadened.
It's been dead.
Ah! Please get out.
Hey, Cole. Hey, Cole. It's a BMW.
I wrote it because I wrote it at a test.
I don't have a tetanus shot. I shouldn't touch it.
So as you see, you just simply take off the carpet back there
I think it was like 9 or
to access the rear
I
suspension.
don't know where that. Maybe I need to look up a YouTube video for my YouTube video.
Hey, you want to see how I do that suitcase suspension? Follow me, follow me. It's right there.
Wow.
Don't look at that.
Oh, more Phillips. Great.
I understand why no one's made a DIY for this. There's a little carpet panel with a push clip in here. You pop it out. No more Phillips.
Hey, when I was 19.
Daddy Sebastian.
What's the
Now you need a
question?
second
What?
mortgage to buy a Supra.
Do you have earplugs and
Good wife.
safety glasses?
Glasses, yes. Earplugs, I don't think so. There's like 2 screws that hold this in. You're supposed to take the whole center console out. The spring clip it screws into just falls down into the abyss. So that's cool. Oh, baby.
Look at that.
Oh, the clip fell.
Let's get a little interior
So
view.
hey, look.
This like
Boom.
way.
You know what I could do now? Fix the CD changer wire. We're gonna have CDs, baby. This car in the Carfax had like the amp and CD changer stolen in like 2002. Wait, but now,
How do you fit that?
bone apple teeth, brother, look. Alright, now we just had to cut this really thick foam out. It's like 3 inches deep, but you have the top of the rear shock. And it wasn't too bad, you know, just a couple trim pieces.
Yeah, 3 inches is pretty deep.
There we go.
There it
Ta-da.
falls. Don't forget, guys, always vacuum and clean your car.
Yep. Make sure she clean.
Important.
You don't want rust on your strut tower.
You don't want rust on
Actually,
your
that
rust?
worked pretty good. So this is the most magical piece you could do to these cars, because now you drop it down inside. So it goes down. And now you never have to get to the inside of the interior again. You just got nuts on the bottom.
Here you go.
Now we just have studs that we put the shock up into and put the nuts on. So that'll be so nice, and I wish the previous guy did that when he replaced the original struts, but that's okay. All right, so we've got 600-pound rear springs with the adjuster. The proper way to install these is to remove the adjuster and just run the spring so she's slammed, brother.
Give it the old.
Give it the old.
Yeah. It's
Ain't
tight
going
enough.
nowhere.
It's usually tight enough at 2.
So the suspension's in, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah? All it took was
Couple of Phillips.
and 30 interior trim panels.
Yeah, I don't think you're exaggerating. I think it was about 30.
Might need some 2x4. Oh, that is low.
How's she sitting?
All right, boys. Well, this is where the Clownshoe's sitting for now. I got to figure out if I'm going to dynamite the rear, take the headliner out, redo that before I put all the interior back together. But for now, we're going to help Mike weld the quarter panels. It's going to be a long night.
Good boy.
All right, so I've had the coilovers on the car for a couple months now, and I'd figured I'd take you guys along with me on my commute to work, because what better way to tell you about real world, how you're gonna like coilovers than on your own commute. So I've got about like an hour-long drive to work, 30 miles each way. The roads aren't perfect. There's some smooth sections, some bumpy sections, so it has a pretty good representation of, I think, the conditions you'll probably see wherever you are. I think I'll split it up into like two categories of what you're looking for to get out of the coilovers you choose. If you're looking just straight up for comfort, I would give these like maybe an 8 out of 10 right now. I feel like all of like the slow bump and rebound damping is really good on them. They ride great if the road has like some minor imperfections and it absorbs everything real nice. But what drives me nuts the most, when you have those like really sharp bumps in the road that like form a peak essentially, it's still really jarring. I wish like the fast bump and rebound could be adjusted, but it's just two ways, right? You only have compression and rebound damping on these coilovers, and it doesn't let you choose between like slow bump and rebound and fast. Now I will say maybe I'm giving the coilovers an unfair disadvantage. I don't have the dual adjustable fronts for it yet, so that could be a little bit of some of the issue. What I noticed on like concrete roads that kind of have like a rhythm to them, you kind of find the car starting to get into like a front to back like wavy bounce, very technical term, and it just ends up kind of like pogo sticking back and forth. It gets into like a harmonic like bounce. I was able to fix that by tightening up the rear rebound dampening quite a bit tighter. And that fixed that issue, but then anytime you had like those really sharp bumps or any like faster bumps on the road, it just, you get that like crashing feeling on the bump, because the shock wasn't able to extend quickly enough after the bump to recover the car without the whole chassis dropping. But I'm fairly positive that once I get the dual adjustable fronts and the damping's actually matched front to rear, that will no longer be an issue. Now, from a enthusiast weekend fun perspective, I would say these coilovers are great. The car is way more planted than it was before. It doesn't like feel like just a Cadillac from the 60s, a real man's car. Oh, that guy's hauling ass. It definitely firmed up the ride. Before, when you'd like get on the gas or get on the brakes, you had really bad nosedive or squat, which is kind of fun and comical in like a Miata kind of way. It was really playful, and it'd be fun to feel it roll around in the corners. But now it's just way more controlled. And I do have some semi-stiff spring rates on this. They're 400-pound front and 600 pounds in the rear. But I think that's roughly the sweet spot for the street if you're like mostly street, not so much track. I feel like if you go a lot stiffer, the ride would be kind of harsh, although I know damping has more of an effect on the ride quality than spring stiffness. Also, if I were to raise the car a little bit, it would probably ride a little bit better, but it just looks cool, so why would I want to do that? I'll take the sacrifice. Because looking cool is better than feeling cool. Just kidding. I have lower back pain. That's not true at all. Now we get to the fun part of the commute. A couple of back roads. So like I was saying, the performance aspect is great. These are way more planted and just a little more predictable. It'll do that all day long now. And it just bites into the corners. It's so good. And if you want to be ignorant, you could be a little ignorant. If you're on the fence about buying TC Klein dual adjustables, I think you should do it. I'm really happy with them overall. Like I said, I think I'm being really nitpicky just because the hurdles I had to go over to get a set of coilovers for this car finally. And yeah, with that said, thanks for watching, and subscribe. I'm a scat man!